Gotcha. I'm trying to keep this clean for YouTube, but anyway. So yesterday, right, I was watching this podcast, the Mike Tyson podcast. What is it called? Hot Boxing with Mike, and he had Boosie on there. And just listening to it, people might think Mike Tyson might be whatever. What? Oh! Turn back over. But anyway, he was on there talking to Boosie. It was him and Boosie, and immediately got into some deep stuff. And it was so intellectual. It was like they was talking about some real stuff on there. To the point where, see, usually when it comes to a Boosie interview, Boosie is always talking. I mean, he usually the main one talking. But this time, it was Mike doing the talking. Now, at first I thought it was like fear or whatever, because you know the legends about Mike Tyson and all that stuff. But I watched his other podcasts and everybody's talking. But Boosie was actually listening to what he was saying, because he was digging deep in, and this might sound wrong, but he was digging deep in the Boosie as far as, like, you know, mentally. You know, they was just talking about a lot of stuff. And while I'm watching it, a thought came into mind, and also somebody in the comment section said it as well. It would have been nice if Nipsey was still alive and he would have gotten that show. So much knowledge and so much would have been talked on there. It would have been great. Nipsey would have been great on that podcast. Any podcast for that, because he always have knowledge to give. Oh crap. But he always have a lot of knowledge to give as far as like entrepreneurship, laying out the blueprint, making it on your own and all that stuff. And lately, I don't know if y'all been looking at my Instagram and all that stuff, but as of late, I've been listening to a lot of Nipsey. What I mean by listening, I mean by, his interviews, him talking. I've also been listening to a lot of his music lately. Now, let me make this disclaimer real quick. And I'm not going to sit here and say, I was always jamming Nipsey and all that kind of stuff. I'm not even going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm his biggest fan and all this stuff. I was always listening to Nipsey, because that's not the case. I'm not even going to lie on that, because that's disrespectful. But, I mean, I always knew who Nipsey was, but I didn't really get on, I didn't really start really listening to him until I think it was a year before he died. I started really getting into Nipsey. And it wasn't even his music that really put me on, because I always knew about Nipsey, but I remember exactly what it was that really put me on. It was his, and what I was ready to say. Oh yeah, the name Nipsey Hussle. That name ain't for no reason. So okay, how do we take care of this? So it was this video on the Marathon store, which is him and his brother Big Sam. Yeah, I think it's Big Sam. Black Sam. I think it's Black Sam. Let me make sure first, cause I don't want to get my facts mixed up. I think it's Black Sam. Yep, Black Sam. So Black Sam is Nipsey's brother. So it was talking about the documentary on how they opened up the Marathon clothing store, their clothing brand, which is located in Crenshaw, which is the hood that they grew up in. So it was this little shopping center. Okay, how do I take care of this? It was in this little shopping center in the middle of Crenshaw. Black Sam, I'm just gonna go over the story real quick. So Black Sam, he had a shop, he got locked up, and then when he came back, they opened up another shop, which is the Marathon clothing store. He got locked up again. I forgot for what, which that's not what matters. So while he was locked up, Nipsey, he was pursuing music, and Nipsey and then the employees of the store and all that stuff was holding it down as he was locked up. So anyway, but when he came back, they built this music empire, had their clothing brand and all that kind of stuff. If y'all been paying attention to my movement, I've been trying to get into entrepreneurship, I'm getting into being a content creator and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, going forward, I've been watching his. That's what put me on the Nipsey. That, and then it was this news story how he opened up this tech store. I forgot what it was. It was a tech store or something, and he was employing the kids over there. And then they also what they did? They also built up this basketball court at elementary school. I believe it was the elementary school. They redid it, and it looks much better and all that. That's what put me on the Nipsey. And then I started listening to his music a little bit more. So I think he would have been good on that podcast. And again, lately I've been listening to a lot of Nipsey, been watching his interviews and just learning and just watching, trying to learn the blueprint that he laid down. And it just got me thinking about, you know, some of my my biggest inspirations when it comes to like pursuing this, being a content creator, entrepreneur, all that kind of stuff. And Nipsey ain't my only inspiration. Another one of my inspirations is Tall Guy Car Reviews, which he is my favorite YouTuber. And funny enough, his favorite rapper is Nipsey. He always talks about Nipsey, and you know, he talks about the same thing that I'm talking about right now, the blueprint that Nipsey laid down for everybody. You know, the blueprint that that he followed and all that stuff. Now, let me back up real quick because I want to talk about this. This is an important part. Because if it wasn't for Tall Guy Car Reviews, I would not be doing YouTube today. So I explained a little bit of the story of how I got started on YouTube, but I never got into like big details. Let me get this health. When I was going through what I was going through about 3 years ago, yeah, I believe about 3 years ago, I was watching a lot of YouTube and I came across Tall Guy Car Reviews. I forget exactly how at this moment. Because of him, I was watching him a lot. And because of him, I think I was watching one of his videos where he was talking about how to become a YouTuber and this, that, and the other. And at this time, what's funny is he was still getting on himself. He wasn't a big YouTuber that he is now. He was actually still starting off. He just got the Challenger Hellcat. He just got it. And at this time, he was still working a regular job. And what I learned later on, he was also doing landscaping and all that kind of stuff at the time. So this is before he became a full-time YouTuber. Before he became a full-time YouTuber as he is now. After watching that video when he was talking about how to become a YouTuber, and again, this is before he became big. After I watched that video, I was like, you know what? It's time for me to start my channel. Now at the time, this is before I became a gamer channel. I was just an all-around channel. I was doing like vlogging, gaming, other stuff. I was just doing whatever came to mind at the time. I was watching him a lot, and just he pushed me to start doing YouTube. Now at this time, I wasn't sure about, you know, becoming a full-time content creator and all that stuff. I was just doing it just to do it. And again, if it wasn't for Tall Guy, I would not be a YouTuber. Like seriously, like he's my favorite YouTuber. Every time he drops a video, I'm watching it. I watch Mr. Organic as well, which is his partner in crime, his friend. I watch him as well. Not as much, but I watch him. I also watch his brothers as well. And funny enough, because a Tall Guy, when he became big, he also put his brothers on YouTube, and now their channels becoming big, especially The Life of Jeremy Barrett. And now he got his own videographer, which he put on, and now his videographer, which goes, his name is Sway Media. He's doing his own thing now. That blueprint also by Tall Guy, who follows the blueprint of Nipsey as well. I look up to him a lot, because one thing I learned later on, just like I have ADHD, he also have ADHD, and I would have never thought it. It's because the way that he comes, his demeanor, you would have never thought he had ADHD. And I remember watching his backstory of how he went to prison for 4 years. And then when he got out, he went to college, played college basketball, and his struggles and everything like that. And you know, there's gonna be people out there that's gonna say, man, stop excuse my language, but stop deriding him, this, that, and the other. Well, first of all, let me say this. Being inspired by somebody is not deriding. And if that's what y'all consider deriding, then, and I'm not even gonna say pause to this, or I'm not gonna say no homo, because I'm secure about my sexuality. But if that's what deriding is, then I'm not even gonna say it, because then people gonna troll. And but y'all can troll whatever, I don't care. But at this point, if that's deriding, then, but that man is my inspiration. And like, as far as YouTube go, he's my biggest inspiration next to Star Wars Theory. And I remember I was watching the backstory of Theory and how he became big as he is. Now, if you don't know who Star Wars Theory is, first of all, check him out, please, because his content is amazing. For those that don't know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And the reason why I always say for those that don't know, because I might have a new viewer. You know, there's gonna be new people that might be viewing me. So that's why I always say, if you don't know. He was talking about how hold on, I'm skipping all that again, ADHD brain. But He's a Star Wars channel, obviously. He makes great content. He talks about Star Wars. He talks about theories and all that kind of stuff. And I remember one time he made this video talking about how he came up and how he became big. And he said he was tired. At that time he was working jobs. He was tired of it. He hated his job, this, that, and the other. And one day he was just sick. He was sick. He was bored, so he made a video on his phone. Mind you, I think he had like one of those old iPhones. He was sick, so he was talking about because The Force Awakens just came out, and you know there was a lot of theories about Snoke. So he made his own theory about Snoke, who Snoke is, or like if Snoke can be Palpatine or something like that. Was it Force Awakens or was it no, it wasn't The Last Jedi. It was Force Awakens, I believe. But it was if Snoke could be Palpatine, or oh, sorry, Cat. It was something of that nature. I don't remember the exact story. And he said it got a lot of views, so he kept making more videos. And like the second video, he said it didn't do that well, but he said he just kept doing it. And because he loves Star Wars so much, he just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until it came to the point the channel became big. And he actually ended up making his own Star Wars fan film, which was big. It was huge. It was successful, and he didn't make no money off it. He put his own money to make that, and right now he's working on an episode 2. So all these guys are my inspiration, and he said he was staying up late at night, and I think I talked about this before. He stayed up late at night, making videos and editing for hours to the point he was sleep deprived, and he was seeing things coming out the wall. Because if you don't get enough sleep, your brain does weird things. That's why they say sleep is important, which I try to get as much rest as possible. But lately, I still been getting my sleep because I have a regular job that I gotta work, unfortunately. But it is what it is. These guys, Nipsey, Tall Guy, Theory, I look up to them. They're like literally like my biggest part of. There's others on that list as well as far as inspirations go, but they're some of my biggest inspirations. People that I can really relate to, because it's always going to be inspirational people out there, but the ones that you can relate to hit the most. Again, Star Wars Theory, huge Star Wars fan. Tall Guy Car Review, he has ADHD and stuff like that. And then with Nipsey, me, I love rap, I love hip hop and all that stuff. I didn't come from like the background he came from, but just wanting to do it on my own and have ownership. That's where I connect with Nipsey. And just seeing another black man make it in general. So those guys, those three are like, and of course Master P as well. Definitely, I've been listening to a lot more Master P, his interviews and all that stuff. Say what you want about his music, but his ambition, his entrepreneurship is huge. That's what Rap Snacks. Now, while Rap Snacks is owned by somebody else, Master P invested into it and it became bigger. So, and I'm about to eat some chips right now. I'm about to eat some Rap Snacks right now. That's why on my channel, every time I get a big thing of Rap Snacks, not only on my channel, my Instagram, which I should follow by the way, but iIrvingTV. Yeah, like, and then I'm also, and I'm not gonna tell y'all just yet. Y'all gonna find out when y'all find out. I'm working on some ventures and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But this is it's gonna be big. For those that know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm just ready. I'm just ready to do this thing. Pursue become an entrepreneurship, work for myself, become a content creator. Content creation is my biggest thing. That's what I really want to do. That's the main thing I really want to do. But I definitely want to explore other realms and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Master P, Nipsey, Tall Guy Car Review, and Star Wars Theory. Those are my inspirations as far as this goes, because I can relate to them. The biggest inspirations is the one that you can relate to. Like seriously. And like, again, every time I watch Tall Guy Car Reviews. I watch all his videos. Every time he drops a video, I watch it. I'm there. As soon as I see his video come up on the feed, I'm watching it. I watched the Love is Slim channel with his girl, Jasmine Love, which, by the way, I want to say congratulations. I'm not even going to say Tall Guy. I'm not even going to say Slim. That's his nickname, Slim. I'm going to say Corey, because man to man, I want to say congratulations to your engagement, both you and Jazz, because Corey, I like definitely. I don't know if you're ever going to see this. I hope you do. But if you're seeing this right now, I've seen your journey from the start when you first got that the first Hellcat and you got that blue purple wrap, and which you later told you literally maxed out your credit cards in order to get that wrap. You barely had a home yourself. You didn't even have nowhere to park it at in the apartment complex that you had. I saw your journey, and like I'm not even gonna get into too much details. I saw, your first situation as far as like dating goes. Your first situation. I saw how you moved from that when you moved to LA, and I watched you, man, and like I just want to say congratulations to your engagement, and like just keep moving, just keep pressing on, and all that stuff. And trust me, I hope I get to meet you one day. And I already know that you know this, but you inspire a lot of people. If I can't speak, well, I really can't speak for nobody. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for myself. You inspire a lot of people. I'm gonna get back to this game, but yeah, and and when I look up to people, I don't expect them to be perfect because nobody's perfect. All these people that I name has, they have flaws on their own, and it is no secret. Again, tall guy went to jail for 4 years for, I believe it was like aggravated assault. He's a 7-time felon. And you think if you're a 7-time felon, how you think you're going to make it? That's your thing. How you going to make it? Once you're a felon, It's hard to get jobs and all that kind of stuff. Let's take these guys down. I realize they're flawed just like I'm flawed too. So when I look up to them, I look at their work ethic and all this stuff, how they are as a person, how they treat people with respect and all that kind of stuff. I know I went from talking about Mike Tyson in his podcast to all that kind of stuff, but that's the main thing being inspired by others, and I think that's what we should all aspire to be our biggest inspirations. And what I mean by that is on well, y'all know what I'm trying to say. So, and I'm working hard to be at where they all at, or unfortunately was. It honestly upsets me when I think about Nipsey and that whole situation. It was just unfortunate though. But if you don't believe that this man is a legend, when Nipsey died, Obama wrote a letter to him and his family and talked about how the impact he made. If you get a letter by the president, and I'm not talking about the current president, but that's another story. I'm not gonna get there. But he was just a legend, man. And it upsets me every time I think what this man could have done. Like, this man has so much potential, and he could have done a lot more. I'm gonna give people their roses while they're still here. Master P said it best, because they, every time he talks about Nipsey, he talks about how after Nipsey died, how like his albums and all his clothes and all this stuff, it was being sold out like crazy. And Master P was like, why did they wait till he passed away to finally give him the recognition that he deserved? Give the people the roses while they're here. So I'm giving all these guys the roses. I'm giving Tall Guy his roses, flowers, roses, whatever. I'm giving Theory his flowers and roses. I'm giving Master P his flowers and roses. I'm giving all my roses, man, while they're still here, and appreciate them. And for anybody that said, "Oh man, you looking up to another dude and this and that and this and that and the other," shut your mouth right now. It is nothing wrong being inspired by somebody, and to give somebody their respect and props while they're still here. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But if you got somebody that you look up to, don't be afraid to share it, because I'm not. Because looking at Nipsey and his blueprint and everybody else, their blueprint and how they came up and stuff like that, it makes me happy. And honestly, it's pushing me now. It's to as far as like being a content creator, being an entrepreneur, and all that stuff. That's what's pressing me. Like, I was working on some stuff, and I'm listening to a Nipsey song and watching his interviews as I'm working on the stuff that I'm working on. That inspires me. So yeah. And hopefully one day I could be in that same position where I can inspire others as well to become the best version of themselves they can be. And I'm not saying I'm trying to become the next this person, that person. I can only be me. I'm not even becoming the next somebody. I'm just next coming up. That's it. Just be the best person you can, be the best you that you can be. And I hope that I can inspire y'all to be in a better position to push yourselves. Whether it's school, whatever you want to do, don't ever limit yourself. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now, anyway, I'm trying to take this freaking hunter out.
Alright y'all, that's it for today's video. And as usual, if you like this video, go ahead and press the like button. If you dislike this video, hopefully you didn't. But if you did dislike this video, go ahead and press the dislike button because I always appreciate honesty. Drop a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, promoting peace, gaming, and wings.